Are you ready to experience the next level of horror? Slitterhead is the game that will make you rethink everything you know about the genre. It's not just about scares, it's about creating an atmosphere so unsettling, so unnerving, that it stays with you long after you've stopped playing. Set in a city that feels all too real, Slitterhead drags you into a world where humans are no longer the only threat. The city is plagued by a terrifying race of creatures called Yakushi, monsters that have learned to disguise themselves as humans. At first, you might think you're safe, surrounded by ordinary people going about their business. But then you realize, nothing is what it seems. One moment, someone you pass on the street might appear perfectly normal, and the next, they're twisting into a horrifying creature with a slithering, grotesque head. The transformation is swift, brutal, and disturbingly detailed, leaving you in a state of constant fear and confusion. You never know who, or what, you can trust. But Slitterhead is more than just a game of jump scares and grotesque imagery. It combines psychological horror with intense action, making every encounter a test of not just your survival instincts, but your sanity. In a world where danger can strike at any moment, you're forced to think on your feet, to outsmart the creatures and the environment. Unlike many traditional horror games, where you're left powerless, Slitterhead gives you the tools to fight back. You're armed with an array of weapons, and the combat is fast-paced and satisfying. But it's not just about brute force. The Yakushi are smart, and each one behaves differently. Some will stalk you from a distance, others will lure you into traps, and some will even disguise themselves as innocent bystanders. It's a constant mind game, one where you need to stay one step ahead if you hope to survive. The gameplay is brutal, not just physically, but mentally. As you progress through the city, you'll find yourself questioning what's real and what's not. Is the world around you really falling apart, or is it all in your head? Each new location, every corner turned, reveals something darker and more twisted than before, forcing you to confront your own fears as much as the enemies you face. The setting itself is a character in its own right. The city is a labyrinth of dark alleyways, abandoned buildings, and oppressive streets that feel like they're closing in on you with every step. The game does an incredible job of making you feel vulnerable. Every flickering light, every creaking floorboard, and every strange noise sends a jolt of anxiety through your body. You know something is always watching, always waiting. But what truly elevates Slitterhead is the haunting, atmospheric soundtrack composed by Akira Yamaoka, the genius behind Silent Hill's iconic music. His score fills the game with a constant sense of dread. The eerie, minimalist tunes amplify the tension of every scene, making every encounter feel more intense and terrifying. With every note, Yamaoka ensures you're never truly at ease. Slitterhead isn't just about surviving the creatures that roam the streets, it's about surviving the psychological torment that comes with it. You'll face puzzles, challenges, and moments of utter despair. And as you delve deeper into the city's mysteries, you'll uncover the disturbing truth behind the Yakushi and the dark forces controlling them. But even as you uncover the answers, you'll be left wondering, is it worth it? Because the deeper you go, the more you realize that this nightmare isn't just a place, it's a state of mind. The horrors you face in Slitterhead don't just stay in the game. They linger with you, crawling into your thoughts long after you've put the controller down. So, what makes Slitterhead so different from other horror games? It's the way it wraps you in its web of fear, confusion, and action. It's not just about killing monsters or solving puzzles, it's about surviving an experience that constantly challenges your perception of reality. With its dark world, its terrifying enemies, and its psychological depth, Slitterhead offers a level of horror that will leave you shaken to your core. As you make your way through this terrifying city, remember one thing: in Slitterhead, nothing is ever truly as it seems. There's no telling who's real, who's human, and who's out to kill you next. And that's what makes this game not just a horror experience, it's a nightmare that refuses to let you wake up. So, are you brave enough to face Slitterhead? Do you have what it takes to survive the terror, or will you be consumed by it? One thing's for certain, once you step into this nightmare, you may never want to leave. But you might not have a choice.